Chris Capone or whatever. Um, anyway, it's 4:25 p.m. I'm at my apartment in Twinsburg. I'm getting ready for it tomorrow, Thanksgiving. I just did some cleaning. I just marinated a turkey roast so I can throw it on the grill tomorrow because my brother and I are gonna have like lunch up here, and we're gonna go meet up with the family later on today. So all the cleaning done. So I just want to take some time out and record another video. I like to do these commentary videos, but I've tell you the truth, really, I've just been lazy. I mean, the last time I did one of these, like back in, I think this past summer, where I talked about the whole move out the walkout thing or whatever. So I've been meaning to do some more of these things, but and like the other big things, like when I try to do a commentary video, I like to do it like right when the event's still fresh, like maybe a day or like no more than a week or two, and there's one of these things I'm talking about in this video that like it actually went down like back in December, but like I wanted to make a video on it, but it just slipped by, and then like it came back up in the news like a few weeks ago, so I figured I might as well just say my piece on it. And I know at this point I'm just talking to the choir because a lot of people probably filmed the same thing I did and probably just said the same things that I did about it. So basically, first of all, the first part like is basically like what you gotta know you have to know about what's called swatting. Like what it is basically a bitch ass tactic done by bitch motherfuckers. And like they usually do it to a guy who's on YouTube or who's gaming or like who's on Twitch or whatever. Like you try to get a person's address, then you call the police, tell them it's some shit going on, like I don't know. They taking hostages or they shooting people or whatnot. And then you want to try to have the cops kick down their door while they on the stream or while they gaming or whatnot. It's some hoe ass shit. It's a hoe ass thing to do. Little kids do it, and also a bunch of fuck boys and fuck girls. They also do that dumb shit. And like it's been a thing for years. Like when it first started happening, like it was only gonna be a matter of time before the police take it down the door and they end up killing somebody. Well, that's the thing that happened like last December. And I know thousands of other people have spoken on it, but like it's like every time I hear more and more about like the more details I hear about it, the more I get pissed off about it. And like the reason it's back up in the news is because the guy who did it, Tyler Barris, who went by the name of Swatistic, he actually they actually bring it over like 40 or 50 charges. So what actually happened was like during a game of Call of Duty World War II or whatever, some dude got ticked at another, and he gave an address. So the other guy just had like Tyler calling a SWAT on this address, and it wasn't actually the player. It was actually this guy named let me look it up. It was actually a family man who had nothing to do with it, but the police came to his house and like he didn't react fast enough, and he ended up shooting him. Now, now I am tempted to blame the police in this situation because like anybody who follows me on social media or anybody who knows me or they know how I feel about like police brutality and all that stuff. But like this was just a no-win situation for anybody involved, like the police or the guy. And the real fault actually rests with Tyler Barris, who was actually the guy who did it. And thank God the fucker's in jail, and thank God he's gonna be looking at 20 to 25 years, it looks like. So thank fucking God for that. The guy who actually the guy who's actually shot. I'm looking it up on my computer right now. So the man who's actually shot was was named what's his name? What was his name? Damn, what was his friggin' name? It was his name was Andrew French. He was with his family, and somebody called the dude that called into the police office in Wichita, Kansas, and they went to his house and thought something was going down, and They ended up shooting him because they thought he was armed or whatever. So, like really, and I think one of the most sickening parts about the whole case is that the whole thing started over an argument over a $1.50 wager in an online match to Call of Duty, and that's just. And like, I mean, somebody, you fucked up. I mean, you fucked up, and some dude loses his life over $1.50. I mean, you can't just joke about that. I mean, and like, so, like it came out during the trial that this dude Tyler Barris, aka Swatistic or whatever, he's been having a history of doing shit like this, like making like false bomb threats at like television stadium, at like television studios, elementary schools and whatnot, and like there was an interview with some guy named Keemstar, and like he was actually in like the way he was talking, like he didn't really realize who was like what was going. Like he didn't really think, or he didn't really consider himself responsible for what had happened because he didn't pull the trigger. Well, you stupid motherfucker. That's like saying fucking Bin Laden is not responsible for 9/11 because he didn't actually fly any of the planes. And you know that sounds like bullshit. But two other things I'm worried about. I think maybe one of them did get arrested. But the two men actually involved was a guy named Casey Venner, who went by the avatar Vapor. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And there was another cat named Shane Gaskill. So there was apparently there was one who was actually making a bet. So Venner threatened to have Gaskill swatted. So Gaskill, he's the one who gave him who gave him the innocent guy's address. So really, I think the other two involved in the match should also face some kind of punishment, and I think one of them is, but I'm not too sure. But I think they should both be looking punished for their roles in the thing. So yeah, once again, I know I'm just speaking to the choir, but you know what? Fuck Tyler Barris, fuck Casey Venner, and fuck Shane Gaskill, and fuck anybody else who thinks swatting people is okay. I mean, this just goes beyond being a sore loser at a video game, or because you got beef with somebody you lost a video game with, or some other lame bullshit. I mean, you just need to sit back and reevaluate some shit. So I'm just sit back. I'm just gonna move on a little bit. You know, try not to get too pissed off because the holiday is tomorrow. We got Black Friday coming up. Plus, I'm getting ready to link up with my brother. We gonna go hang out and whatnot. But there's a couple other things I wanted to talk on real quick. The elections was a few weeks ago. It's the midterm elections, which is basically which is almost as important, if not more important, than the presidential. But like these are like local and state politicians, and they're the ones who affect like most local and government politics that are more likely to affect you more than like anything the president's doing at the moment. So that's why. So like a lot of people don't realize how important it is in voting those things. And like you know me, I'm left wing. I mostly vote Democrat when I vote. But like, I'm not even telling you how to vote. You know. But like the one thing that's really pissing me off is like after the elections, like you got like you got people, namely black folks on the list who were bragging about how they didn't vote, which I think is fucking stupid because number one, your parents and grandparents fought hard for you to have that permission to vote. Okay, maybe it obviously wasn't their parents, because if it was your parents, they would slap the shit out of you as soon as you fix your mouth to say that. I mean, you sitting there talking about, these things don't affect me. They're buying the election. They're gonna buy the election anyway. Or my vote doesn't count. Well, shit. Of course, your vote doesn't count because you're not gonna make yourself heard. I know it's like only gonna be like 50-50 or whatever, or however many people are running, but it's like this. You play the lottery, right? Even though you know you got a snowball chance in hell of winning it big. So how do you? So it's just like that. Like if you see something important that you believe in, like, then you should just go. You should just go after it, learn about the candidates, and, make your vote, and just make yourself go to the polls and make your voice heard. I mean, like in Ohio alone, where I live, we had this issue one, which would have, which basically would have sent like nonviolent drug offenders to treatment instead of jail, and that's a huge thing for me because this is the prison industrial complex, which is a key, and which is like why so many people can't find, which is like why so many people are going through or get caught up in the system. Then they get out and they can't find good jobs. So like a lot of people like here's another thing, like people don't even like people talk about not voting, but like if you're sitting there on your cell phone on Facebook or you're on the computer and shit, then you can go out and you can research these politicians, figure out what they stand for, figure out what's important to you, and vote for that. And of course, not every single politician is going to believe in the same things you do or going to vote 100% the way you do. I mean, if you want one politician that you totally agree with or that's totally 100% that what you vote for, you might as well just run yourself. But like the key is to like vote for the one that's closest to your values as possible. So like really, I can't. So like you know what? I'm gonna tell you something else. Like this past year, I was working a secondary job as a support staff at a group home. One of the guys there, he's got like mobility issues, but like ever since the summer, he's been going out and supporting this candidate, Betsy Rader. So he can't move himself, so he depends on me to take him everywhere. I'm not gonna like say too much details about him, but like to me, you got this dude who's physically disabled and he needs assistance, but he's going out and campaigning for this person because this is something that he believes in. Yet you got people like you who are able-bodied, but you won't even bother to get but you'll go to the next county to go to some club, or you'll stand in line to get the new Madden and shit, but you won't go across the street to make yourself heard in elections and local issues that affect you personally. And don't talk about this. And the new thing I'm now hearing is that, you don't see the Chinese or Arabs voting. Well, shit, I'm not worried about what they do. This is about what you do and what you gonna do for your community. So like, really, so all these so-called woke niggas, these all you so-called woke folks, especially you hoteps who don't like you don't even do the bare minimum to be politically active. So fuck you, fuck your memes about the secret government agendas, fuck all your knowledge that you got from some YouTube nigga talk about the Illuminati or whatnot. If you don't vote, then don't complain about shit. I mean, really. I mean, it's like so many like. And you know what else? I'll tell you another thing. Like, you heard like down in Florida and Georgia about like how they're trying to, like all the voter suppression and stuff. If your vote didn't count, then why would they? Then why would they send? Then why would they? Then why would certain people go through so much trouble to make sure that certain other people weren't able to vote? It's that simple. And also, you got these racists out here. You got these neo-Nazis that were actually running for office. Thankfully, most of them were defeated in this past election. But like, you got all these racists, these neo-Nazis. They got no problems voting. So if you're not gonna make your voice heard, then I bet you these neo-Nazis, these racists, these big money corporate entities, and all these other people that don't care about you, they are voting. And you know why your voice means nothing? Is that you don't you don't speak up. You don't do shit. So how can your vote count when you don't go vote? It's as simple as that. And the final thing I want to end this with is, Stan Lee died this last week, and he's for the few of you who don't know, he's the big guy who created all these Marvel heroes: Captain America, the Avengers, the Hulk, Spider-Man, X-Men. I mean, all of them. I mean, he died at the age of 95. He's one of the I don't think anybody knows the impact of what he did and what Marvel Comics did. I mean, they gave you real people who were just like you, people that you could relate to, beside them having superpowers. It's like you had Spider-Man. He was growing up, he was like your typical teenager. I mean, he still is. And like in some versions, he still is like that. I mean, he's got to deal with girls. He's got to deal with homework and bullies just like you do. Except he's got spider powers. It don't make things easier just because he's a superhero. You know, like even when he was getting over, he had to deal with like debt, fatherhood, marriage, things like that. And like you got like X-Men. That's like an allegory for race relations. I mean, they were all white at the time. But like you had Professor X who was trying to teach peace and harmony. Then you had Magneto who was trying to like be that like Malcolm X by any means necessary dude. So it was like they was giving you a version of MLK versus Malcolm. I mean, you could even take it a step further. Like the books with the Hellfire Club. Like there's like rich upper elite mutants. Like you could compare that to like rich upper elite black folks who think they got money, so all these things in racism ain't gonna affect them. So like also they did like stuff that was controversial. I mean, they had like this issue. They had the story arc in Spider-Man where they was dealing with Harry Osborn getting hooked on drugs, and they even took the Comics Code Authority off for that. He said he just said we gonna take the code off, and I'm gonna tell this story about drug use and how bad it is and how it affects people, and like that, like all that realism, all that stuff, it just like permeated throughout the comics industry. You had then you had like that set the foundation for stuff like the DC Comics thing where like it wasn't Stan Lee, but like it was when Green Arrow discovered his sidekick doing drugs, or when Jason Todd was dealing with abusive husband, or like when you go like the grim and gritty stuff like Frank Miller's and all that, the Image Comics, like Stan Lee was the nucleus about behind all that. And like I think maybe and there's not like one person who means much to a company or even entertainment itself besides Stan Lee. Maybe Shigeru Miyamoto at Nintendo. And his body of work isn't nearly as big as Stan Lee's was. Or maybe Walt Disney, but he's more business than but he was more business than career anyway, as far as I knew. So that's gonna be a huge loss. And like on a side note, it's kind of funny when people complain about SJW Marvel every time they put in like a black person or a woman or a Muslim or a gay person in their comics. Like when you had Stan Lee was making political statements back in the day with like X-Men. Like that was like, again, that's like one big thing toward race relations. And then they flipped it around in the 90s as being part of the LGBT thing, like the struggles that they were facing. And hell, like one of his well-known comics had Captain America giving giving Hitler a fade, punch him in the face. So Marvel was tackling social justice issues for years, and Stan Lee, like you see him in all the movies and stuff, but like I don't think any one person, like even me, could realize like the whole impact that he had. It's just gonna be a huge loss going forward. So definitely, everyone raise your lighters up for Stan Lee, and that's gonna be it. So make sure you follow me on Twitter, Screwface Capone. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about. I'm working on my website, WilliamTyler.com. It's some rough edges around it, so I'm still fixing it. And also make sure you follow me on Twitch, Screwface Capone. I'm going to be online this weekend sometime for the holiday. So that's it. That's all I have to say. So, yeah, have a good holiday. Drive safe out there and be safe and have a happy Thanksgiving.